Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD StarCraft and I'm here to bring you guys Game 2 from the round of 8 of the Heart of the Storm tournament out in Europe. And so far this tournament has been great, man. We've been seeing players utilizing the new units, new abilities, new strategies, new build orders. It has been so cool, and I was worried for a second when I was starting to cast this tournament, maybe they won't use any of the new abilities. Why should they? But I've been really impressed so far, man. We've been seeing crazy things like quick warp gate timing, quick dropping with Warhounds in the last game, and surprise, surprise, but Warhounds are actually so good at killing off workers. It is insanely good. I would almost say they rivaled the Hellions in their ability to kill off workers. Those 4 Warhounds dropped behind the middle field, and they killed off like 10 to 12 SCVs in less than a second. It was so crazy, and I've never seen anything like that before. But it just goes to show, man, how revolutionary I think HOTS is going to really make StarCraft 2. I think it's going to add such a level of aggression to the game. It's going to make it so exciting to watch in the first few minutes because you just don't know what players are going to do. There's so many new strategies available, and it's going to be real cool. Anyway, so let me go ahead and introduce the players, guys. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Teal Terran player. Last game, I think he was blue, but he is up 1 game in this series right now, and his name is Adolf. So there it is. We'll see if he can go ahead and use another strategy similar to the last one, and that was a Warhound drop strategy. Very effective against his opponent Terran, and his opponent all the way across yonder on Entombed Valley. I'll talk about that in a second, but his name is Alex, and we'll see if he starts to incorporate some of the new units rather than just, a few Warhounds. He might need to really ramp up that Warhound production if he wants to stand toe-to-toe with his opponent. Either that, or I think another way to deal with Warhounds is to stick primarily with biological units. And the reason why I say that is because if you just go all-out bio, Warhounds are actually disgustingly terrible against Marines. I think Marines are the perfect counter to it. So we'll see if Alex opts for that strategy or not. Oh, it looks like Adolf's going to lose his SCV for the second time. Oh, so close. Almost made it down the ramp. But interesting to note that we are on Entombed Valley. And I think the reason for this is because, like I said, in this arcade mode version of HOTS, the map changes on a daily basis, and day 2 might have rolled over by now, and day 2 of the tournament, now I think everyone's going to be playing on Entombed Valley, so pretty cool to get a map switch now. I was kind of getting a little bit sick of Ohana, but now it should be pretty sweet to watch. And, this is such a big map. Oh my god, Entombed Valley typically goes the distance, man. You want to see a marathon, you want to see an endurance matchup of StarCraft 2, put 2 good players on Entombed Valley, and you will have a long matchup. And especially if it's Terran and Terran, I think we're going to be in store for a long one. So just grab your popcorn, grab your beer, grab your soda, whatever you want, and sit back as I cast this game, guys. Enjoy. So alright, let's go ahead and see what Alex is going to go for here. He is adding on a bunch of barracks, so I think he might just do exactly what I said before. He might stick to a primarily bio army against the mech of Adolf. And it makes so much sense too, because if you think about it, bio is very good against Warhounds. And bio and Wings of Liberty, not so bad against tanks either. You have to be very mobile. You can never really attack headlong into that tank count. But we definitely have a difference of strategy here. It is going to be mech from Adolf. I would presume the same exact style that we saw in Game 1. Versus bio from Alex. So Alex is not going to be using any of the new Heart of the Swarm units. But he does have a very quick command center landed down already. And that's considerably faster than Adolf. Adolf is not going for that triple factory rush that he did in the first game. That was just a little bizarre, man. I saw that and I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work, man, because siege tanks typically out by the time you push out with Warhounds, and siege tanks and bunkers are gonna shut that down, and it did. But we'll see here. It looks like this time Adolf is gonna go for a command center. And he is going to play more macro. Makes sense. It's Entombed Valley, big map. And he's also adding an engineering bay back in the middle field, probably to get missile turrets in case of Banshee. And now dropping a comsat of his own over to the opponent's base. He sees triple barracks and factory just beginning. So he knows now that he will not be facing any mech units for a while, and we're probably not going to see siege tank production right away either. We're probably going to see a quick start port, most likely. We're probably going to see medevac usage for Marines so that Alex can start dropping all over the place. And, you know, given that Adolf has scouted that, I would imagine he's probably going to cut Warhound production for now. He's going to allow the Widow Mine! Woo! That would have been nasty if it could have latched on. But that Widow Mine did die before it could burrow down. But I would imagine, you know, the right decision here probably is to cut Warhound production, and instead, I would say make a bunch of Battle Hellions, man. And, you know, Battle Hellions, if you can get in melee range with your Hellions, maybe you can run up in car mode and then transform them into battle mode, or maybe you could just walk them up in battle mode. I would imagine Hellions are going to be pretty damn good against Marines because they have, you know, that extra damage to light, and Marines are considered a light unit. We'll have to see, though, but interestingly, he is continuing Warhound production, which you know, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to work as well this game because Marines should be pretty good against Warhounds. We'll have to see. Obviously, they will need their stim pack and their combat shields. Stim pack especially. Stim pack is already done, it seems like. And combat shields, I would imagine, will begin pretty soon once Alex gets the next set of gas for that upgrade. Right now, focusing on medevac production, so we're probably going to have, there we go, the combat shields started. So we are going to have a drop play coinciding with the combat shields finishing up. And this is pretty smart, man. I think Alex is going to try to go for a lot of drops, be as harassive as he possibly can be, but he's also got to worry about this frontal attack that's on the way right now. It is a Warhound Marine army. Now, granted, Adolf... no, he's actually going to pull back. All right, so he's not going to attack. Interesting. Just going to stay back at home and maybe tagging the zone on the tower. And, you know, that was a good decision, I think, from Adolf. If he attacks into this army, I think he's going to have a hard time killing this army off. Like I said before, Marines with stim and combat shields. And do they have +1 as well? No, they do not. Neither side. No, he is getting +1, but it hasn't finished yet. But, you know, Marines with stim and combat shields, and his Marines are completely upgradeless. He has not gotten one biological upgrade this game. He is going to have to wait for his Battle Hellions to get Blue Flame, and he's started Blue Flame right now. That's very smart. And what he's going to want to do is use Blue Flame Battle Hellions. I think that is the right response to Marines. So we'll just have to see. The only thing, though, is, you know, to me, the Blue Flame Battle Hellion, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of slow, you know, obviously in battle mode. So the Marines can stim and kite away from the flamethrower. But we'll have to see what happens. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to play out. Obviously, I haven't seen a TVT in Heart of the Swarm except for the first game I just casted. There are 2 more factories added on right now for Adolf, and he is really ramping up the mech production, man. And finally starting to get some siege tanks. Yes, siege mode on the way. And I would imagine siege tanks following up shortly. That's another great way of dealing with bio from afar, is just get all your tanks set up. You can just shell those Marines to pieces. But it looks like right now Alex is moving out, and you know, Alex has complete predominant map control, and he should. If Adolf moves out with these Warhounds, he will be in a lot of trouble, man. Marines should be able to rip that up. And Alex now loading up 1 medevac full, and we're about to have the first blood drawn in this game here, as Alex come around the backside of the main, but there's a missile turret there. Oh, that missile turret is in such a good spot, and the medevac redirects his trajectory. Oh, I don't know if Alex just got a premonition right there or what, but he could have lost that medevac, and now he redirects into the main, and he's dropping Widow Mines. Oh, so he does have some factory units. Now all the Widow Mines have landed down, and Adolf has to be careful. He did kill off all those Widow Mines. Only 1 latched on, but that Widow Mine's going to detonate. Oh, it's going to detonate. Oh, kills off all the Marines. And at the same time, Alex runs up the ramp with all of his bio. Does he have enough to kill off the Warhounds, targeting the missile turret? And, you know, given that Adolf had the high ground, it looks like he was able to hold off that attack. Wow, Alex, I thought he was going to drop biological units. I thought there was going to be Marines for sure, but he instead incorporated some factory units into his play. So now officially he is biomech, and you know, it's not really full-on mech, but it is Widow Mines. And come to think of it, it makes sense. Widow Mines should be pretty good against these units. They're not very good against bio. because of how fragile Marines already are, but they should be pretty good against the expensive siege tanks and warhounds. And we'll just have to see, man, but that was a nice attempt by Alex, and overall, he's still ahead in this game, 120 to 103 supply. So by no means, even though his attack didn't do significant damage, by no means has he, you know, lost out or anything. And now he's claiming a third command center. In fact, it's already down. And now he's setting up Widow Mines in the middle of the map, at the same time dropping into the natural. And, you know, Adolf still hasn't landed that third orbital yet. It looks like the medevacs are going to unload everything while the Widow Mines run up. The Widow Mines were not able to plant down. And Alex decides against dropping all of his forces into those tanks and warhounds and battle hellions. That was a very risky play. That could have turned out real bad for Alex, but you know, it was a nice design. He was planning to use his Widow Mines to draw fire, I suppose, or perhaps he was using his medevacs to unload units to draw fire, so his Widow Mines could get up close and personal, but it didn't work out as expected, and now it looks like he's going to once again drop behind the natural. And one of the medevacs was latched on, but it died before it could detonate, and now Marines unloading behind the natural expansion, also into the main base, and now Alex is going to try to do as much economic damage as possible. There are a couple of mines back here, so he's got to be careful, but it looks like these Marines are probably just going to get destroyed very quickly. Meanwhile, still has some Marines up on the high ground, but those Marines will die as well. Too much firepower here from the mech of Adolf. And now it looks like Adolf has landed a third, but the Marines coming over here once again to destroy the SCVs and their hopes and dreams of becoming economic harvesters. But there's just not enough Marines, man. That attack really ran out of fuel around the middle stage of the fight, and you know, he just didn't have enough Marines, didn't have enough drop forces. But overall, you know, just looking at the workers' kill tab, 14 to 1. So Alex has certainly been able to get some economic damage in, but overall this game is still very, very close. 148 to 144 supply. And now it looks like Adolf is going to move out with his heavy mech army, and this is going to be interesting, man. It's purely Marines and Widow Mines versus mass mech. Who is going to win this fight? It's going to be up to the Widow Mines to get up close against the mech and burrow down. They are going to burrow, and will they be able to latch on? They get a couple of latches on some of the units, but it looks like Adolf is just going to be able to spread them out. So he'll lose 3 Warhounds. Not bad at all. Nice pull away by the Marines from Alex. He realized there's no reason to stick around once the Widow Mines latch on. Let the Widow Mines do the dirty work and pull away so I don't lose any units. That was very, very smart by the Red Terran. And now the Red Terran, Alex, is beginning to push out in the middle once again. The tanks are unsieged! The tanks are unsieged! And it looks like Adolf is going to be in a lot of trouble here, but he has so many tanks, and the Battle Hellions are just roasting up the bio! Oh my god! Those Marines were running in there, they were like, oh, free unsieged tanks, I'm gonna get all those unsieged tanks! And then the Battle Hounds were like, you shall not pass! And all the bio just melted away. Oh, that was beautiful. And just like that, I think the Teal Terran Adolf has taken a lead in this game. 139 to 131 supply, a very slim lead indeed. Alex has actually lifted off his orbital over to the high ground. I want to call it an island because there are rocks there. And essentially what it is. And now Alex will attempt to break down the rocks leading to that island. But oh, it looks like Adolf moving into a minefield is going to get all of his mech latched on by Widow Mines. And now certainly all those drivers are going to have Widow Wives. And now it looks like Alex Emboldened moves in and has to run away. There's still a tank and a lot of Battle Hellions there. And is that a Widow Mine? Latched on by a Widow Mine? Oh, man. And, you know, at this point, man, I really think Adolf, man, all of his army men here, they're going to have a lot of Widows at home. Those Widow Mines made a lot of Widows today. Very nice job by Alex. Supreme minefield. And just like that, the balance of power has swung in favor of the Red Terran player. Alex now has a bunch of reinforcements, gonna roll in here, and he's gonna take out all the Warhounds and tanks. Everything has fallen. And is this the better TVT style? Bio with Widow Mines, and those tanks, they aren't going anywhere, and the Widow Mines will latch on. Goodbye, tanks. And you know, of course, Alex doesn't need to stick around. He just runs away and lets the Widow Mines do the dirty work. 3 more Widows back at home, and that was a really smart play by Alex. He doesn't go in and attacks when the Widow Mines are latched on. A lot of Terran players do that, but the best strategy is actually to pull away, let the mines detonate, because if you stick around and you continue fighting, you run the risk of killing off the unit before the mine detonates, and you know, that's lost damage, that's lost effectiveness. You want to be real efficient with your army. And that was just very, very smart play by Alex, and Alex taking a significant lead now at 170 supply to 120. What a masterful job by the Red Terran. Adolf is going to have to think fast of a way to come back. Now, he has that Ninja Expand down on the bottom left. That has not been scouted by his opponent. Now, one of his CCs is a planetary, while as Alex's has got 4 orbitals. So Alex has a macro advantage in that manner as well. He's going to go in with a fake drop here with his medevacs. He's still got a leftover medevac here from before. I wonder what this is for. Oh, I think he's just going to use it to scout, because he knows there's no anti-air back at home. So he's just going to go in to scout, and he was hoping to pull off a fake drop maneuver, but it doesn't look like Adolf fell for it. Adolf still has all his tanks and battle hellions here, and he kills off the mines before they can land. Will Adolf be able to pull a comeback here by killing off the attack at the front door? And I think he will. I think he will. And the tank's just too much firepower for the bio to handle him. That's one of those situations where, you know, you really don't want to run in with all bio against mass mech, but all bio melts to mass mech very quickly. It was a good idea, though, by Alex. You know, you could see the cog turning in his head there. He was thinking, okay, if I go in with a bunch of empty medevacs, maybe I can pull him out of position, thereby allowing me to run up and pick off a command center or factories or whatnot. But, you know what? Adolf didn't fall for it. He did not fall for it. The Teal Terran was very privy to the fact that it was a fake drop, or perhaps he just didn't react like Alex thought he would, and, you know, that worked very well for the Teal Terran, but he is still behind in this game. Alex is maxed right now at 200 supply, huge bio army, tons of medevacs, more Widow Mines coming in. And what is Adolf going to do about this, man? The Teal Terran needs to figure something out right now. He is making a Thor, and I like that. You know, one Thor in your army, it doesn't hurt. It actually can be very effective against just keeping those medevacs away, constantly firing shots and forcing them to stay away from the bio so they can't heal. And, you know, by no means, I don't think, is Adolf out of this game yet. He still has a superior army in terms of firepower. And, you know, Alex knows that. That's why he's spreading out his bio right now, so that he can mitigate the AoE damage. Very smart play here. Now he's going to go in. This is going to be nasty. A ton of Widow Mines coming in as well. They're going to plant down. Now, will Alex pull away and let the Widow Mines do the dirty work? He should, but he's sticking around. And I don't know about this, man. He's going to lose a lot of bio. He should have pulled away when the Widow Mines latched on. And he will not be able to break the tank line at the front. And Imba, man, I keep calling him Imba, but Adolf continues to make a hold. And just like that, slowly but surely, he will continue to, you know, incrementally get back in this game. He is even on bases, it looks like. 5 base Terran versus 5 base Terran. So by no means is he down economically. And if he continues this kind of playstyle, really, it's not even him. It's more like Alex trying to force a situation that he shouldn't. Continually just ramming all the bio into the tanks, and you don't want to do that. What he should be doing is dropping with his medevacs. He has so many. Why not utilize the lack of mobility of his opponent, drop all over the place? But it looks like, you know, Adolf is all prepared for that. He's got missile turrets everywhere, so that can, of course, shut down drop play very quickly as well. Very, very smart play by Adolf, but there are avenues where drops can be effective. It looks like Alex is going to go in once again. Now, once the mines land, he should pull away, but he is sticking once again to the fight. This is pretty risky, man, and what the heck is that? That must be, I don't know what that is. That is a bug or something? I have no idea what that was all about, but it looks like mini nuclear missiles being launched, but it does look like Alex is going to be able to win the fight. He forced the situation, and through brute force alone, was able to break the tank line, and now has found his way under the fresh underbelly of the Terran expansion, and he's going to be able to force a liftoff here as the orbital command flies away. And now Adolf really against the ropes, man. Can he push back the biological army? Warhounds are actually really good against Marauders, because Marauders are... I actually don't know. I don't think Warhounds are. No. Warhounds are not good against Marauders in that they can't use Haywire. So far, Alex's bio army is crushing through and pulls away. Actually, no, it has actually died off, but he was able to force the liftoff of this orbital command. And 31 workers killed so far in this game. Great engages. And really, just brute force alone by Alex is allowing him to punch through the Terran metal. And now it looks like, look at how many orbitals he's making. Oh my god! He's got 6 orbitals at home. Who needs SCVs when you just make mass orbitals, right? And that's actually really smart. He can throw away SCVs, and he can clear up further supply capacity to augment his bio army with more forces. And that can help him overcome the fact that Bio doesn't have as much firepower as Mech does. Who cares if you have a bigger army than your opponent? And that's what these orbitals are going to allow him to do. He's just going mass orbital right now, and he can throw away SCVs if he wants. He's once again moving over to the underbelly where the 6 o'clock expansion is. That orbital command falls. No hope in hell for it. And Adolf is in so much trouble. Can he make a hold here? I don't think so, but the tanks doing a good amount of damage. Will they be able to obliterate all the bio? I think they will. Unbelievable by Adolf. Adolf's +3 tanks, man. He has got +3 upgrades on his siege tanks. Those siege tanks are doing a lot of damage, not 34. That is their unsieged mode damage. And when they're sieged up, I think they do something like 65 with 3 upgrades. This is absolutely insane. And Alex's biological is also at 3-3. So he is, you know, he's not joking around either. But at this point, you know, that last attack might have been a little bit too overzealous. And now it looks like the Teal Terran is going to make a push here with his Siege Tanks and Warhounds. He's going to set up a contain outside the enemy Terran base. And this is really Adolf's one last shot, one hope here to get back in this game. Can he do it? He's got to at least take out one expansion. The supply counts right now just dangerously even, really, 161 to 151. It's anybody's game, and he's reinforcing his tank line with more siege tanks. Did the brute force strategy by Alex, rather than using finesse control of Marines and dropping all over the place, did the brute force of ramming everything in, was it too much? Did it eventually cost Alex this game? Only time will tell when we look back on the history books of this matchup, but Alex is going to go in with a mega drop of bio. I don't know about this. Does he have enough to punch in the tanks? There's so many tanks in the back as well. He's going to lose everything. He's going to lose all his bio. And unbelievably, Adolf, he might just make the craziest comeback I have ever seen with Battle Hellion Siege Tank Warhound. And using the mules right now to drop down and mass repair. No, those are enemy mules actually getting dropped down on the tanks. Hoping to draw friendly fire, but all the tanks unsieged. Nice, clever play by Alex, but I don't think it's going to be enough. This might be the last wave here. More mules getting dropped down to try to draw friendly fire. Alex has so many orbitals to drop mules with. Is it enough? I don't think so. And it looks like Adolf continues the mech push. He will not be stopped. He will not be deterred. No mercy, take no prisoners, and he continues this dangerous push. He's already killed off, or at least forced the lift off of one orbital. Can he continue on? He's starting to hit all the extra orbital commands, forcing them all to lift off. Of course, right now, Adolf doesn't have any way to hit air, so those orbitals, once they lift off, they're pretty much scot-free to go wherever they want to go. A couple of Warhounds chasing down the SCVs, leading them down a cookie crumb trail over to this expansion at the top right. And they will be able to quickly take down workers, man. Look at how fast they do it when they get their haywire off. The SCV count, kill count, evening up now 42 to 40. Red Terran really doesn't have that much workers at all. 28 total, 25 total, in fact. And that number continues to fall down. He's really going to have to rely on his extra orbitals for mules to resupply his army. And now dropping bio into the middle? What is he doing? I don't know about that one. Is he going to be able to pick off any tanks? I don't even know if he killed a single one. There's just too many tanks here, guys. And the bio brute force style from the Red Terran Alex, I don't think is going to be enough to get him this victory. I think that Adolf is going to pull off the unbelievable comeback and is going to be able to win this game purely on mech alone. He's still got this contain set up outside the Terran base. Alex has done a good job of keeping all of his medevacs alive, but for what reason? I mean, his drops haven't been all that great. He's going to try to drop once again. Will he be able to land a drop? No! He's going to bypass the mech army and going to go and drop against the enemy factories, I believe, or into one of the expansions. Not a bad idea at all. If he can get those dropships over there, he needs to quickly organize his medevacs and do that. Meanwhile, his natural now under attack by this metal army. And whoa, man, Alex is going to lose all of his barracks. At least some of the barracks, not all of them, but he's going to lose a lot of his production facilities. And what is the answer by Alex, man? He's trying to bring the orbital down to the bottom left, and now he sees the ninja expand, and he knows what's up. He can't land it there. A couple of tanks coming down to kill off his expand as well. And Alex is quickly losing control of this game. Everything falling apart. His last hope is going to be this biological counterattack. But I don't know, man. He might kill off this orbital. He might kill off the SCVs. But at the end of the day, his army will have to meet head-on with this army. And when that happens, I don't think he's got enough firepower to deal with it. Even if all the tanks are unsieged, we saw what happened last time due to the Battle Hellions. And there are 10 more Battle Hellions coming on the way right now. So really, I really don't know if Alex can win this game, but he's trying. Gonna try to run everything in, but he's sandwiched between siege tanks. And that is probably gonna be it. Battle Hellions get the last laugh, roasting up those Marines. All of his barracks and factories have gone down. There is just a gaping hole where his civilization once was for the Red Terran. And now, with everything on the line, with elimination facing him, can he somehow make a comeback? I don't think so. 49 supply to 157. And I think the true winner of this game, I gotta give an applause, man, for the Teal Terran rocking the Heart of the Swarm units, rocking Battle Hellion tanks and Warhounds, and GG has been called. Adolf is your winner. He will go on to the semifinals with a brilliant mech-based style. And, you know, at various points in this game, I thought for sure he was out. I was going to call it GG prematurely and say, all right, guys, well, that's pretty much it. Time to go home. And, you know, sorry, I thought it was going to be a long TVT on Entombed Valley, but it's going to end early. But no, I think a lot of that has to go with Alex trying to force the situation with his bio. And just like in Wings of Liberty, man, you never really want to ram all your bio into the mech army. You want to attack with your bio, but you also want to drop around the sides, make use of your medevacs. And we really didn't see him using his mobility to his advantage in the mid-game. And because of that, and he kept trying to run into the mech army, and I also think he didn't consider the Battle Hellions. You know, normal Hellions, sure, okay, whatever, I can kill them real quick. But Battle Hellions, no, they're actually quite a bit sturdier than their Hellion car counterpart, and they were able, you know, when he ran in there, they were just able to roast up all of his biological units so quickly. And so, you know, he was at one point 200 supply to 120, and he lost this game. Unbelievable, unbelievable game by Adolf, the Teal Terran. Hope to see more of him, man. Imba, Adolf, whatever the hell your name is, you got HD's approval of the month. So congratulations, man. And I'll see you in the next cast, hopefully. I'll see you guys in the next cast as well. And this is HD StarCraft signing out.